Good morning, kids. Welcome to another class. Today we are doing Unit 14, and Unit 14 is called A Famous Woman. Okay, so we will start the lesson by looking at what this means. So, famous, it means that many people know you. Okay, it can mean that you are on TV, or maybe many people have bought something that you made. Okay, maybe a book. For example, if we have a look at the people on our paper over here, so on the first page, right, if you have a look at number 1, 2, and numbers 3, okay? The person over here, the first person is, I'll write in, let me write in green. So this person is Michelle Obama. I'm sure you guys have heard the word Obama, the name Obama. The next one is J.K. Rowling. And the last person is number 3, Oprah Winfrey. Now, all three of these women, they are famous, okay? And I'm going to explain to you why. The first one, Michelle Obama, she is famous because she is an author. So an author is someone that writes books. Alright, so she became famous for that. Also, she was married to the president of the USA. Okay, so she was married to Barack Obama. Okay, number 2, this person is J.K. Rowling. She is also an author. All right, and she wrote the books Harry Potter. All right, the series of Harry Potter. So she has many books. Okay. The last person is Oprah Winfrey. She is on TV. Okay, and she has a talk show. So she helps and she talks to people that are not doing so good, and she helps people to talk about their problems. Okay, so these women over here, they are very famous, and many people know them. Okay, so let's have a look at our story today. Okay, we're going to look at another famous woman in our story today. So before we do that, I'm going to do the vocabulary with you, okay? All right, can we have the notepad? Thank you. All right, guys, so first vocabulary word that we're going to have a look at over there is ocean, okay? And ocean is, well, this one is a noun, so I'm going to make it a small o. So, ocean. The next one we have is invited. Okay? Then we have first. Then we have problem. And last two words, we have land and, of course, famous. Okay, look at the phonics. So, ocean. Okay, can you guys say it? Ocean. Okay, and then invited. So, invited. Okay, next we have is, so first, so first. Okay, then we have problem, and famous. Okay, let's see you guys practice it with me on the whiteboard. So ocean, ocean. Can you say it? Alright, next one is invited. So invited. Can you say it? Okay, next one is first. Okay, so you need to say first. Okay, then we have problem. Problem. Can you try? Alright, next one is and land. Try. And famous. Famous. Okay, so these are the 6 words we need to know for our lesson today, and I'm going to explain what these words are to you so that you can understand it a little bit better. Okay, the first one is ocean. So an ocean, ocean, this is a large, so large, very big. So a large area of water. A large area of water. So we have many oceans, 5 or 6 big oceans on Earth. Okay, so we have ones like the Pacific Ocean, then you have the very cold Atlantic Ocean, okay? And then sometimes we also, or not sometimes, we also have smaller oceans. And for smaller oceans, we call it a sea, S-E-A, okay? So smaller ocean will be called a sea, okay? So those are the different words. Of course, oceans, you have to use a boat or a ship, obviously, to get over it. You can't walk or drive, okay? Next one is invited. This means to ask someone to do something with you. Okay, for example, today is my birthday and I want to have a big party. So I need to invite people to my party. Okay, so I can invite friends to a party, or it's a very nice day and I want to eat some food. So I don't want to eat alone. So I invite my friends, or I invite my mom or my dad or my brother. I invite them to the restaurant, okay, to eat some food. All right, so I can invite them. Please come here and join me at Burger King. Okay. All right, first. Okay, so first means you are number 1. Okay, you are number 1. So after first, then you get second, and then you get third and fourth. Okay, so first, you are the first person, or you are number 1 person to do something. Okay, if I'm running in a race and I am number 1 in the race, I am first because I got there first. All right, I'm number 1, I'm the quickest. Next we have over here is problem. This word means that something is wrong. It means that something is wrong. So I have a very nice car, but today my car does not want to go on. It does not want to start. So if my car cannot start, there is a big problem, okay? So something like your car is broken, okay? Or another problem you can have is that it's late at night and now you want to turn on you want to turn on the light. So you press and there's no lights in your house. So that is a problem, okay? So no lights. Something is wrong. Okay, land. This means when you are in the air and you come back to the ground. Okay, I know this is very long, sorry. So you come back to the ground. So can you think of something that goes up into the air? Okay, I'm sure you guys can think of an airplane. So an airplane is something that needs to land. Okay, so an airplane lands at the airport. Okay, so yeah, an airplane will land at the airport. If I jump up in the air, my feet needs to go back to the ground, so I land on the ground. So I jump and land. Okay, then we have the last word, which is famous. Okay, so this means that many people know you. So many people know you. So for example, a famous actor. So everybody knows a famous actor or actress because they are in movies. So you see them on TV. So I know that person because I have seen that person on the TV. Okay. Another person that will be very, very famous is someone that plays sports. Okay, because many people like sports. So if you like sports, you will watch it very often. And if someone is very good at sports, they will always be playing it on TV, or even you would know who the best person at maybe badminton is in Taiwan. Okay, so they are famous for these different reasons. And like we said in the first page, the first person, she wrote some books. So many people read books. So many people know her because she wrote books. So remember, do you guys remember what that word is for someone that writes books? Starts with an A. It's an author. Okay, so they write books and stories. All right. So these are the words we need to know, guys. I hope I explained it okay for you so you can understand it a little bit more. Let's practice saying it one more time. First one we hear, let's say famous, land, problem, first, invited, and ocean. Okay? Now, the next thing that I would like you guys to do is to please make sure you have your pencils and your books ready, and please answer the questions on page 65, okay? On page 65, I want you guys to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course, number 6 too, okay? I will give you the answers for that later. All right, so let's quickly move on, and we're going to read the story together. Okay, so okay, so those answers are there. Can we just go to the next page, please? Okay, guys. So let's just look at the name, please. All right. So maybe just zoom for me, please. Thank you. All right. So the name of this story over here, boys and girls, it's called Amelia Earhart. Okay, Amelia Earhart. And this isn't just the name of the story, it is also the name of this person. Her name is Amelia Earhart. Okay, so let's just quickly practice saying. So A Amelia and Earhart. Okay, Amelia Earhart. All right, so we're going to learn about why she became famous. What did she do? If you look at the picture, I don't know if it tells you a lot about what kind of job she did. Okay, but let's read and let's see what they say. I will read first, and then the second time, please say the sentence with me. Okay. Amelia Earhart wasn't afraid to try new things. Okay, can you guys say it? Amelia Earhart wasn't afraid to try new things. She even tried flying airplanes. Okay, so she even tried flying airplanes. In 1928, a man invited her to fly with him. In 1928, a man invited her to fly with him. They flew over the Atlantic Ocean. Let's try it again. So, they flew over the Atlantic Ocean. She was famous for being the first woman to do this. So let's read again. She was famous for being the first woman to do this. In 1932, she was the first woman to make that same trip alone. Right? Let's go again. In 1932, she was the first woman to make that same trip alone. In 1935, she flew alone over the Pacific Ocean. So, in 1935, she flew alone over the Pacific Ocean. She was the first person to do that too. Okay, so she was the first person to do that too. All right, can we please go down? All right, over here, guys. Next, Earhart tried to fly around the world. So, next, Earhart tried to fly around the world. A month into her trip, she ran into a problem. So, a month into her trip, she ran into a problem. So, something was wrong, right? She was going to land on a small island. Okay, so she was going to land on a small island. But it was cloudy, so she couldn't find it. But it was cloudy, so she couldn't find it. Her airplane most likely had an accident in the Pacific Ocean. So, her airplane most likely had an accident in the Pacific Ocean. People weren't able to find her. People weren't able to find her. Okay? So that's the story about this woman named Amelia Earhart. Okay? And she was famous because she did a few things. So she could fly airplanes, okay? But not only that, she was the, so I'll just write it over here. She was the first woman to fly over the, what was it? It was the first woman to fly over the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, the very cold one. Over the Atlantic Ocean. Then she also became the first woman to, she became the first woman to fly alone over the ocean. All right, and then afterwards she wanted to fly around the world. All right, so back in this time, remember it's in the 1900s, a very long time, almost 100 years ago. Okay, so back then women were not flying, okay? They did not fly in airplanes very often. So she was the first one to do it. So she did something very, very special, and because she did it, more and more women also wanted to fly in airplanes and to fly an airplane, okay? So do you guys know what we call someone that flies an airplane? So a person who flies an airplane is called a pilot, okay? So a pilot will fly an airplane. So she was a famous pilot, okay? So that's our story over there, boys and girls. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to explain each sentence to you a little bit so that you can understand it some more, okay? And then I'll give you a chance to answer the questions. So can we please go back to the top of the page? Okay, I will leave this here for you guys to see, okay? And I'll write on the page. So let's go with the first one. So of course, Amelia Earhart is she is the pilot. All right, that is her name. So the pilot's name. She's a woman, of course. And we'll continue to read. So Amelia Earhart wasn't afraid to try new things. So she wasn't afraid to try new things. She liked to do different things, okay? She even tried flying airplanes, okay? So flying airplanes. In 1928, a man invited her to fly with him. Okay, so she did not fly, but she was in the airplane with the man that was flying the airplane. Okay, so this happened in the year 1928. Okay, and they flew over the Atlantic Ocean, so the very, very big ocean. Okay, so it's also the very, very cold ones. We see many, many penguins and those kind of animals. Okay, and she was famous for being the first woman to do this. So she was famous. Many people knew her because she was the first woman to do this. So do this, what do they mean? It means to fly over the Atlantic Ocean. First woman to do that, okay? Then in 1932, so the first one is 28, so 4 years later, she was the first woman to make the same trip alone. So the same trip, so they're talking about flying over the Atlantic Ocean. So the same trip, so to fly over the same ocean. But this time she did it alone. So alone means that no one is with you, okay? I'll put this up here. So So alone. Okay, so no one else is with you. Okay, so that's what alone is. So she was the only person to fly in the airplane that day in 1932. In 1935, 3 years later, she flew alone, so she flew alone again, over the Pacific Ocean. So the next ocean, the next big one, right? She also flew over that one alone. All right, so very, very interesting, right? She was very brave. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't scared. All right, so she was the first person to do that too. So she was also the first person to go over the Pacific Ocean alone. All right, can we please go? So guys, just have a look at this. Make sure you guys write some of these words down. And then let's move down to the bottom of the page. Alright, so where are we? Alright, next, Earhart tried to fly around the world. Okay, so you wanted to go all around in a circle. Okay? A month into her trip, she ran into a problem. So, for her to fly around the world, it already took 1 month. Okay? It already took 1 month to try to fly around the world. A month, 1 month. She ran into a problem, so something went wrong, okay? Something is wrong. She was going to land, so she was going to go to the ground on a small island, okay? So a small island, I mean, Taiwan is an island, but I think that this island was a little smaller than Taiwan. So she tried to land on a small island. That was what she wanted to do. But it was cloudy. So cloudy means that there are many, many clouds, okay? And the clouds are white or the clouds are dark color. So she couldn't find it. She couldn't see where the island was. So she did not know where to go and land. She couldn't find it. So what is it? It is the island she could not find. Her airplane most likely had an accident in the Pacific Ocean. Okay? So what they're saying over here is that they don't know what happened to her airplane, but the word most likely means they think so. Okay? So most likely it means they think that she had an accident in the Pacific Ocean. So maybe her airplane landed in the water, and then I guess, you know, airplanes can't swim, right? So people weren't able to find her. So they couldn't find her because they did not see her on the island, and most likely they think that it went into the water. Okay, so that's the story of Amelia Earhart. She's really, really, really amazing woman, but because they could not find her at the end, it's a little bit sad. Okay, so yeah, I hope I made the story a little bit easier for you to understand.